What is up, fight fans? You were locked into the Silly Gilly Goose MMA show for our second fighter interview today. We have nobody other than Gianni Kryptonita Vazquez. Gianni, how's it going?
I'm doing good, brother. Thank you so much for asking. Just coming back from Seattle to be in the corner of my brother Ricky Simon, and then back to train.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on that fight, on that draw last night? That was pretty
Yeah,
controversial.
it was kind of hard because I see that a lot of people was saying the Adrian won the fight, but I was there in the corner, and then
Yeah,
I thought we have one round and two, you know, and then
yeah,
so. Of course, round three, I feel it was really close till the last 10 seconds for sure.
yeah. Oh
You know,
yeah, yeah,
I didn't
Yeah.
feel it was one side. The round three, I feel for sure. I know, for sure, he was down two. That's why he came out really hard in the round three. The corner told him that he has to finish the fight because if no,
yeah.
uh, he was about to lose, and then he did. He came out really, really aggressive and everything. But Ricky was hanging in there, and then I just saw my brother loves to fucking go to the dogfight the last 10 seconds every single time. And then that's one thing that you can take it out of a dog. You're not gonna show him how to be a dog, and then you can show him that how to not be a dog. So my brother loves to be a dog, and he loves to put in the show for the fans. So he decided to sit in the pocket the last 10 seconds, and then uh
That was awesome, man.
almost cost us the fight, but
Yeah,
the bell ring, and then I don't care what people say, oh, he would have get finished. Yeah, brother, but guess what? It's a time, and then when the time is
yeah,
over, it doesn't matter what happened next.
yeah.
It's just period. The time is over. We didn't get finished. We didn't get finished.
So,
Yeah.
what was the game plan going in? Like, what did you guys really work on throughout camp?
I mean, we knew Adrian Yanis has a really good right hand, and then
Mm.
heavy boxing for sure. Um, so we were aware of that, and then we were doing pretty good job until the last 10 seconds we got caught with that right hand. But for sure, Ricky is really has more weapons. I feel he mixed it up with the wrestling and and everything, but unfortunately he couldn't find the spots to get the takedown more than once. And then Adrian Janis did really good job. I feel when I saw him standing up in the cage, he reminded me Michael Morales versus Sean Brady. He started standing,
Mhm.
he squat so low and pushed his ass
So
so back.
low.
So he was
Yeah,
so low and with the ass so back, getting ready for defending the takedowns. So
yeah.
I mean, the guy did his homework. We did our homework, and then, that's how it is at this level.
Yeah. So were you surprised that Ricky kept it standing for as long as he did round one? I mean, I know I was surprised. We're used to seeing Ricky just get guys to the ground, no problem. I mean, he was doing great standing with Adrian in the first round. Were you surprised that was that the game plan coming out to just keep it
No,
standing in round one?
to be honest, I wasn't surprised. Like I said, I've been training with Ricky for a long time. I've been in his corner for a lot of fights now, and then he's for sure every single camp feeling more confident and more comfortable on his feet, and then he has a lot of power, and like I say before, he has a lot of weapons. You guys couldn't see all the weapons he possessed in this fight, but you know I know my brother, and he has that Mexican side where now he's feeling more comfortable with the stand up part, so he just wanna fucking stand up.
You just
You
raw.
know, like he forgets a little bit about the ground because he loves to scrap. He loves to exchange, and then and like I said before, he loves to put in the show for the fans.
Hey, we love to watch him, man. Always a fun time with Ricky.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they definitely put on a great show, and it's so crazy to me. Like they were moving so quick, they just looked so. Both of them, even both of them, just looked so slick, on their feet, and just moving so quick. Both of them got such fast hands. Man, that was such an amazing fight. That was probably one of the best fights of the night, if I had to say so myself.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
if Bahamondes fight, would it be
Mm.
finishing like would it be a finish? I think we would get the fight of the night. But that
That
fight
Oh
for
yeah.
sure, that
yeah, I
they
had
stole the fight of the night. But if there would be a finish, like we're gonna get the fight of the night.
yeah, no, for sure. And I thought you guys should have been on the main card. I can't believe that was the second fight of the night. I thought that would be a main card fight for sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was a little bad schedule there.
I feel like they were trying. Maybe sometimes they were trying to put like the fans getting early to the arena, you know, because like
Yeah,
for sure Ricky is like like a local guy, so he brought a lot of fans to the arena. So maybe the UFC
true.
wants to push everybody getting early, because I've been there where like, bro, you don't see people until the last 3 4 fights of the main event they get to the arena. I'm like, how is possible these people pay for tickets and they just show up for the last three?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. So maybe they're trying to do that, like just to put some really good fights early, so people can start like showing up since early. But
And the
So
crazy thing was with I feel like there was a for Ricky's fight. I feel like that was the loudest the people were. Like we were hearing Ricky chants the whole entire fight. I feel like we weren't really hearing that for the other fights, to be honest. Like they were
no.
going crazy for Ricky.
Yeah, that was.
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Ricky has a really good fan base, and then like they're wild, bro. They're wild. They go crazy when Ricky pops up.
Mhm.
So that's why I feel like like him fighting home and stuff like that. He wants to give the show to the people, so he's like, I want to keep the fight standing, so keep more entertaining for the people. But like he's a dog, and then that's what we do.
Yeah. Do you know when you remember when you guys first met, like your first interaction with him?
Oh, it's been like a few years, man. Like I remember him and Tyson Nam, the legend Tyson Nam. They came to Team Oyama one time. It was about to be somebody wedding, and then they came and then trained with us for like a weekend, and then after that, Ricky started coming to train with us, and then like I always try to surround myself with like way better people than me. So as soon as I
Mhm.
find out he was kicking my ass, so then I was like, okay, this is the guy that I want to be all the time, getting my
Yeah.
ass whooped. So it's gonna make me better. And then we got a good click with each other. And then eventually, like I said, I started like working with him as a main partner. He was my main partner, and then he started bringing me to his corner, and then here we are. Like I've been in his corner probably like 6 7 times, and then like, so we have a good relationship. He's like I say, he's like brother to me. His family is my family. So I'm happy to find Ricky at the gym, and then now we have a good relationship.
How nervous were you that first fight that you cornered for him? Like, feel like
Bro, every
more.
single fight I get nervous. That's what I told him. I'm like, like me and him, like, we talk shit each other so much, and then I'm always like, fucking little guy, bro. You always get me so nervous, bro. In this fight, actually, like, I started screaming, like, kind of like excited when the fight was over, and I know maybe people was getting confused, like, what the fuck he's celebrating, but I was like, hell yeah, we didn't get stopped, because I was just like, please, referee, don't stop the fight, because it was so much like short time. And when they
Yeah.
didn't stop the fight and the bell ring, I was like, okay, thank God. It wasn't a stoppage. We finished the fight. And I was like, okay, we got this shit. Like we won first, second. Like, we fucking, he stole the last one, but fuck it. But I was like, he always get me so nervous, bro. Like, it's always been in the corner of somebody is more nervous than fight. Because, like when I fight, I know how capable I am, how much I can take, how much I can give, and I know my abilities. I know how hard I train, and then like in the other side, when you're in somebody corner, like you see him training and here and there and stuff, but like you don't see him like the 24 hours. You don't know if the guy said that he was out training, he didn't. You don't know if the guy was uh, eating some things that he supposed to don't eat. And then I'm gonna speak for myself. Sometimes I cheat, bro. Like on my diet, I'm like, you know what?
Oh,
Like I'm gonna get a little candy, boom, and
yeah,
then
we're all
and then
human.
unfortunately, like my last fight was the first time that I missed weight, but the situation was 2 days. It was 2 days notice. But before that, like I have together with my professional Muay Thai fights, kickboxing, MMA, I have 28 professional fights, and I never missed weight until the last one. And like I say, it was 2 days notice, so it was kind of hard the situation. But in 28 professional fights, I never miss weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, going
Nice.
into your last fight, obviously you fought Bashrat. Bashrat was really good, and obviously, like you said, on short
He's
notice,
alright. He's
and you went
alright.
to
He's alright.
Yeah.
and, and you went the distance with them. So like, what did that fight prove to yourself? On short notice, uh, and not making weight, 2 days short notice, which is crazy. What did that fight prove to yourself?
I guess for me, it was just like a clarification of like knowing that I belong to the UFC. I've been for so many years saying to everybody that I belong to the UFC, that I possess the talent to be there, that I can stand like toe to toe to like the highest level in the UFC. Not only like in the UFC. I like I say at 125. I say like you put me at 125 right now, I will compete against any top five, anybody in the top five. Okay, you don't think I'm good enough? Okay, put me top 10. I will compete against anybody in the top 10. You know, of course, I never expect to come in at 135, but I know my abilities. Like Big Brother knock him out, Basharet. So I was really, I was really like, like more like nervous. I'm like, man, I can't let the guy, the Big Brother, beat me. You know, I can let the guy that like my big brother Ricky knock him out, like come and bully me, because then now I have to call my big brother to revenge me again, and so I was more like nervous for that. But then as soon as the fight happened and everything, like I raised my hands even after the decision. I raised my hand and I was celebrating, and people, they get it wrong. And for me, I was celebrating like the clarification of like, okay, I made it to the UFC. I fought a top guy in a 2 days notice, weight class above mine. And then guess what? I almost put him out. Guess what? Last round, he didn't want to fight anymore. He went to take me down and just hug me. He didn't even try to
Beautiful.
submit me. He didn't even try to like ground and pound me. He was just like hugging me for his life. So I was like, I was just happy and celebrating that like I was there, I made it, and it was true what I've been saying. I belong there.
No,
Yeah, and
absolutely. And you proved it, man.
and watching
I'm
that
sorry, man.
fight, me and Connor were watching that fight, and man, we were so impressed with just how you performed. You looked so good in that fight. We were so impressed with your jujitsu. Your jujitsu was really good. You did so good on your back, and man,
I,
you're on your feet. Your striking was on point. And then that last round, he kind of chickened out a little bit because I think he knew that you could have put him out.
To
yes.
be
Yeah.
honest, I was like, man, if you would be a little bit more smart, you should have stand up with me, even maybe just touching and running. We're gonna get like the fight of the night, because our fight was like high pace, and then it was really action. Like I was really excited too, and then happy with my performance in jiu-jitsu. I worked jiu-jitsu so hard. I've been training for a long time, and like here, since I got here in Orange County, my jiu-jitsu was taken to the next level by my professor Russell Cantona, and then my professor Lucas Lich. And then I was so excited because like for the first time ever, my professor Russell, who gave me the black belt, he was in my corner for the first time ever. I remember when I got the call, I called him and I said, look it, I know you're a busy man, blah blah blah. I got the call for the UFC. I want you in my corner, please, please. I'm like, if I need somebody in jiu-jitsu in my corner, I need you. This is my debut, and you give me my black belt, and my jiu-jitsu belongs to you. So like, come to my corner. And then as soon as we hit the ground, I was like, bro, hell no, I ain't letting this guy like beating my ass in front of my jiu-jitsu coach, bro. Like, that's not gonna happen. My jiu-jitsu coach for the first time in my corner, and I'm gonna get my ass whooped. He probably's gonna, like they promote how like take it off my black belt, give me a white belt, some shit like that. I was like, hell no, bro. I need to put on the show for the coach. So I was happy with my jiu-jitsu for sure. And my striking, like I wish I could do better, but like I feel like on my body, because like the weight cut like really aggressive. Um I feel like during the fight, I feel like I couldn't throw punches. I was trying to throw more kicks. I couldn't. I feel my legs really heavy, like my arms really heavy. And it was funny because I feel so heavy and so slow. And then I watched the fight after. And I was like, oh, actually, I don't look too bad, you know? In my head, during the fight, I was feeling so slow, so sluggish. Like the first round, I was feeling so stiff. I couldn't throw punches the first round. That's why in the second round, I was in my head too much thinking about how I was feeling. The
Mhm.
Between the rounds, you know, when my corner came, Ricky was in my corner and then Oyama, and they were talking to me. I don't even remember nothing because I was just thinking about how my body felt. And then at some point, I just heard the clap. There was like, to the corner, get out. I was like, okay. I told myself, you know, stop being a bitch. Just fucking let's go. And I look at Ricky. I look at Ricky because Ricky was like, hey, it's like, mijo, are you listening what we say? And I remember I look at him. I was like, no, I didn't, bro. I didn't listen nothing. But don't worry, bro. I got this shit. I warm up. I'm gonna fuck this guy up now. And I was like, that's all I said. They went out, and I was like, okay, it's no time to be a bitch. You know, like whatever is the situation, I'm already sit here inside the cage, and I'm not gonna let this guy beat me. So I'm like, okay, let's put it on the show. So I feel
So you,
better the second round, but yeah.
I'm
What
sorry,
is it?
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. You mentioned that you called your jujitsu coach immediately after you got the call. Did was
Yeah.
Ricky? Did you call Ricky immediately?
Sorry.
Fought Basharat as
It's
well.
lagging a little bit.
Yeah, it's lagging a little bit.
Sorry. I didn't hear it. Okay.
Am I good now?
Yeah. You look better now.
Okay. Yeah. How did Ricky help you prepare for that Basharat fight? Because he absolutely flatlined Basharat, just
Bro,
destroyed the
it's
man.
like, to be honest, it wasn't any help. To be honest, it wasn't any game plan. Like people was asking me too before, like, hey, what was the game plan? And then for me, you know, I was like, bro, it's no time to game plan. You know, I was like, such a short notice. It's no time to prepare anything. I was like, in my head, I treat this fight like a street fight. You know, I've been in the fight so many times. I've been fighting for so long, so I was like, okay, you know, like this is a fucking street fight. I'm just gonna go there, take it off my t-shirt, you know, see somebody I never see before, and just start swinging. You know, I would say the only thing that like Ricky told me for sure is like he's like, you know what, like don't worry, I know you're thinking about like a weight class above you, blah blah blah, but it's like you're way stronger than that guy and you hit way harder than him. He's like, trust me, he don't hit hard as you. He's like, and then you know when he told me that, I was like, okay, you know, Big Brother is trying to give me some confidence. Okay, let's see it. And then, bro, for real, when he touched me, I was like, bro, this guy doesn't have nothing to hurt me. I'm like, I never been knocked out. And then for sure, this is one of the fights that I'm not worried anything about like getting knocked out. So that's why in the third round, I knew I lost the first round because I didn't do nothing. And then the second round, for sure, I won the second round. But I was like, in the third round, I was like, okay, you know, I'm here to get knocked out or like knock this guy out. I'm ready to like get knocked out. If I'm gonna get knocked out for the first time ever, it's gonna be in the UFC. But like if I'm gonna knock out somebody right now, it's gonna be this guy on my debut. So that's why I tried to go for the kill, but like, you know, unfortunately he went for the takedown and just tried to hold. But yeah, you know, like it was no preparation. I just like I said, I see as a street fight, and then literally, bro, like when they called my name, I start running, and then like first thing I did outside, like you know, like before the cameras start showing myself walking to the cage, I just take it on my t-shirt, throw it to the floor, and I start walking. And I think they even told me that I couldn't do that. You know, because like they start getting like, "Hey, Gianni, you can take it off your t-shirt." I'm like, "Oh fuck!" But I was like, in my head, like I say, I'm like, "We're ready to fight in the street. Let's get out." Boom, take it off my t-shirt. Like just walking. I'm like, let's fucking swing. I'm ready. You know. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's how it was.
awesome.
So when you got the call to, you're fighting Bashrat, what was going through your head when you got that call? Like, where were you at? Like, what were you doing at that time? And like, what was just going through your head? Like, you just got called up to the UFC.
I was like after practice, I was here at my place. I was eating pizza because I was trying to gain some weight to like start moving up towards the 135 weight class. Because I already been talking to my manager for like a few months about like our chances to the UFC, and my manager told me that like we have a really big chance going up in the UFC at 135. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start some diet to gain some weight. You know, like I usually at 125, I was walking around like 148, 150. So I was like, okay, I'm too small for the 35, so we need to gain some weight. and I started like doing diet like 3 weeks before they called me, and then that day literally I was eating pizza after practice because I have to do a lot of carbs and a lot of protein to gain weight for myself. So I was
Mm-hmm.
eating, and then my manager just called me. He's like, "Hey, Yanni, what you doing?" I'm like, "Fuck, bro, I just finishing a pizza and I have a glass Coke with me, enjoying life." And he's like, "Well, like, remember one day I told you that I was about to give you the call?" I'm like, "Fuck, no way." And he's like, "Yeah, so today is the day." And I was like, "Oh shit." He's like, "How much you weigh?" And then I remember in the morning I wake up and I was 57. I was like, "Fuck." I was like, 157. And he's like, "Well, like, can you make weight?" I'm like, "I would do my best to make weight, but like, like whatever it takes, like I'm not gonna say no to the UFC. So like, fuck it, like let's try to make weight and then like let's do our best, you know? And
Yeah.
then that's what we did. So we tried our best, and then unfortunately, like I couldn't make it, like I dropped 16 pounds, but yeah, we couldn't drop more. It was hard though. Like the last 3 hours, I was like for 2.5 hours in the sauna. The last 2.5 hours in sauna, and I just lost point 0.2. My
Oh,
body, my body shut down. I feel like my body shut down because like it wasn't getting ready to cut weight like properly. So like I feel like it was just trying to protect myself because like literally it was crazy. 2 hours and a half in the sauna, and then good thing is that I was at the PI since like 5 a.m. on Friday before the weigh-ins, from 5 a.m. till like 9:40, because I was the last guy to weigh myself at 10, and then before 10. And then the good thing is that like all the doctors and the nutritionists and everybody from the PI, they were checking me. And they were like, they were watching myself really, really, really trying to make weight. They saw me like dying right there. And they saw like the girl was checking on me. She saw that like we went for like 2.5 hours and I just lost point 0.2. Bro, it was crazy. I was dripping on sweat. And in my head I was like dying, but I was feeling so much sweat coming out. So I was like, fuck yeah, bro. I'm gonna make weight. Fuck yeah. And then I go and I just see I lost point 0.2. And I was like, oh fuck. I was like, bro, I was like crying. I was like, bro, I can't believe that like the first time ever I'm gonna miss weight is gonna be on my most important fight in my life. But we that's how it is. Like when the opportunity knocks the door, you don't say no. Like
Yeah.
I'd rather say I'd rather say sorry that day than say no. And I
Yeah.
say, hey man, sorry, I tried my best, I couldn't make it, I apologize, but you just say sorry, shut your mouth, don't say anything else, and then fuck it, just show up to work.
Yeah. No, definitely. So you said 125 is your weight, like that's for sure, like the weight you want to fight at in the UFC.
No, 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 no. That was the way I was fighting. Like the UFC opened the door for me at 135, and then they told me to like do one more fight, make weight, of course, because like the reason they called me was because we couldn't we couldn't make weight, and then when they call us, we say we were about to make weight. So since we say that, and then we didn't do it, so they told me go outside, make weight, get a good solid win, maybe two, and then you're back. So since the UFC won me at 135, so we're gonna go at 135. And
Okay.
at this point, whatever the UFC say, I'm just gonna do it. I told them before, and I'm a man of like a company, and then like like I just told my coach, like I already proved I belong there. I'm not scared. I've never been scared to fight anybody outside the UFC. So like it's just like the longer I'm healthy, I'm gonna try to fight 4 to 6 weeks, every 4 to 6 weeks until the UFC could bring me back. You know, I'm down to
Ooh.
fight once a month. Like living the Thailand life in America as a Mexican. Fighting once a month, and then until the UFC bring me back. Because I know I belong there. So
Oh,
it's just
definitely.
like getting ready for that.
So you just went pro straight away? Did you ever have any amateur fights at all?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I fought a lot of amateur. It's just like the thing is like when I started fighting, I started training boxing at 12, and then I started doing boxing fights, amateurs up there in Mexico. 'Cause I born and raised in Mexico, and then
Okay.
I started doing kickboxing fights, MMA fights, but it was back in the day. In that time, it was more like a tournament style. That was what I was just talking to my coach about it. So, for example, the MMA amateur, you fight with MMA gloves, shin pads, no elbows to the face. You can elbow the body, and no knees to the face. You can knee the body. But for example, it was a tournament style, like jiu-jitsu tournament. I was going sign up, and it was like 10 guys in my division. Then I have to fight like 3 4 fights that the same day to win the tournament.
And how old were you?
So I start fighting MMA amateur at 15. So then I make my pro debut
Wow,
at 17.
that's
I
crazy.
start
That is
My
insane.
pro debut was at 17. So like I fought boxing a lot, kickboxing, and in the kickboxing it was the same. It was, I mean, it's still the same up there in a lot of like little tournaments, bro. It was crazy because I have pictures of me when I was a kid. I was going to a tournaments where like the sport was growing, and they put like a jiu-jitsu area, like kickboxing area, MMA area, and I signed up for the three, and I was just running between areas. I was just like, okay, Gianni, jiu-jitsu. I was running, competing jiu-jitsu, finishing, and I'm like, okay, now kickboxing. I was running, putting my shin pads, my big gloves, doing kickboxing, running to the MMA, and I was end up like the day with like 3 trophies because they give you trophies, like in Mexico. I remember when I started, they have like those little trophies, like the soccer trophies, but there was like a kickboxing guy
Yeah,
kicking and stuff like that.
yeah.
Even for jiu-jitsu, they give me like a kickboxing trophy. And then yeah, I was fighting like every single time, any type of tournament. If the tournament has like more than one discipline, I was fighting all the disciplines I could. So I did like I would say at least like 22 amateur fights, like combined like MMA, boxing, kickboxing, everything. And then that's why I make my pro debut at 17.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's so cool.
And so when it comes to training for fights and practicing each discipline, how do you break that up? Because there's guys like Ilya Taporia who they'll have one specific day training wrestling, one specific day boxing. How do you like break it up?
I kind of like that. I feel like I'm like from that type of generation of people. Like I have my days where I just go do boxing. I have my days where like jujitsu. I've been saying that for years, I never been training really like jujitsu for MMA. I go and do jujitsu, you know. I train at Checkmat Santa Ana and Checkmat La Habra, and then for those who knows about jujitsu, Professor Lucas Leitch is the one that produced most world champions out of the Checkmat team. And then my professor Russell Cantona is one of the most technical guys from the Checkmat team. So, I train with a lot of world champions, a lot of like people that are like European champions, Pan Am champions, stuff like that. So when I go do jiu-jitsu, I just do jiu-jitsu with them. And then, bro, I just survive. I never taught nobody in competition class. They all would whip my ass. Everybody whip my ass. But the way I see it is like when I go fight, bro, it's hardly to face somebody that has that jujitsu. So like, I'm smart enough to put things together. Of course, like my professors, they know I do MMA, so it's some stuff that they don't teach me, or they don't. Or even in my professor, he's like, hey, if you can avoid these type of positions, because I'm the type of guy that I like to learn everything. If I go like, for example, go jujitsu and then like I'm doing gi because I like to do gi, and then people doing berimbolos. I was getting into berimbolos crazy, and my jiu-jitsu coach is like, Yanni, please don't do that. Like that thing is not gonna work. That thing doesn't work in MMA. Blah blah. I'm like, bro, but I'm doing jiu-jitsu right now, so I like to get good at everything. I'm really competitive, so like if I'm doing some sport, I wanna be the best in that sport. So that pushed me. But like I've been learning now that I get older, like to listen to my coaches. I have a coaches for a reason, and then I have to listen to them. That's why like my coaches make me who I am right now, and then and they took me to where I am right now. So like I have to listen to them, and then you know just sometimes I gotta like put my emotions on the side to be too excited about to try to learn something, and then just like be like more like I feel like a grounded kid, that I can do some things I wanted because they don't let me, but it's for the best of my career.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, going off that, so you've had a lot of 5 round fights, title fights. What is the biggest difference between a 5 round fight camp versus a 3 round fight camp?
Eh, for me, it's the same, brother. Like it doesn't change anything. I always train and get ready to go to war. You know, like I never get tired, and I always repeat myself every single practice. I never get tired. You know, we're doing the sparring. Thank God, my coach Oyama is my head coach. Colin Oyama, he's a legend, and then he's old school, which that's why I really like the gym, and I fall in love with the system. And then he and I we click because you know like we're not soft at the gym. You know, like Tuesday nights we have sparring days, and then we can go. I would say the less from 9 rounds till like 15 rounds, 5 minute rounds, and then
Wow.
and then what you're gonna hear from coach is like if you get tired and you don't want to be there, get the fuck out of the gym, walk from the
Yeah,
door and don't come back.
yeah.
Because
Don't waste
like
my.
yeah, exactly. So like you know, even when we're there sparring and I you know sometimes we a lot of people, so we try to like you know, go like 5 groups at a time. So we have a really good space to do like the grappling and everything. And then you hear people's like talking and they're like, oh, he's getting tired. I always like talk shit back right away. I don't get tired, motherfucker. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't get tired. Never get tired. And I push myself, you know, so like I try to kill myself at the gym. So like in the fights, I never had to like deal with that. And then until today, I never been tired in any fight. Never. I never been tired. So so I feel like the longer the fights get, it's actually the better for me, because like I feel like the longer it gets, I start getting my rhythm, and then like you know, you hit the point like where like you're like in the zone where like you don't move faster, you don't move slower, but you just keep going, and that's how I feel for me. At every single fight, I start like little, then until I hit the point that like, okay, I will break you, and I just walk through the people. You know, I always say, you know, am I not gonna be the fastest guy? Am I not gonna be the strongest guy? But then I don't get tired, and everybody breaks with pressure. So when you fight with me, I'm gonna be in your face all day, all night long, and then until you quit, and then you know, because I know somebody's gonna quit, and it's not me.
Absolutely. Where does that spirit come from? Where does that warrior inside? Like when did you find that out?
I feel like you know, my whole life I've been through like hard situations. My road is always been so hard, you know, like even right now, you know, like I say, I went to the UFC and then make my debut in like hard situation, 2 days notice, and then I'm out of the UFC after one fight, you know, and then people always see the bad things about it, and people were talking to me like, oh man, they did this, like what the hell, blah blah blah. And then, man, I just get focused on what I can control. What I can control, just keep fighting. You know, fighting is who I am. It doesn't matter where I'm fighting. You know, it doesn't matter what promotion, what company I'm gonna be fighting. You know, fighting is who I am, and I'm just gonna keep doing it. I fight because I love it, not because I need it, not because I'm looking for uh, any approbation of anybody. I just fight because like I fucking love to get inside and then get a scrap with somebody. You know, like
Oh,
so so just like I find out of myself, I find it how happy make me, how like important for me is to do what I love. And then now that like I realize that like everything I have, everything I own is because of this, is even better, you know, like I'm living out of my dream, you know, like I never imagined as a kid from Mexico City, you know, like came to the States and then traveled the world from fighting, you know. And I'm already doing it, you know. Even if I'm not in the UFC, I already like make money to like went to Thailand, Brazil, Peru, you know, like I've been in a lot of different places in the US, and everything is from fighting, you know. So I make only one fight in the UFC, and then when I went to the UFC car in Mexico, I took like a 300 pictures with people. The people recognized me. People were like super excited. This weekend, yesterday, I was in Seattle, and the day before, I went to the ceremonial weigh-ins to see my brother Ricky Simon at the weigh-ins, and then a lot of people asked me for pictures up there. They were like really happy with my work, and you know, at the end of the day, that's what I'm looking for as a fighter. I'm just looking to to bring like happiness to people when they see me fight. You know. I just want
Mm-hmm.
people to remember that I'm one of the more exciting fighters. That I'm one of the guys to put everything in the line to give you a good show. So
So was that Mexico card? Was that like the first time that you got recognized? Like that people were coming up to you and asking for photos and stuff, or like has it you before?
it happened before, but like I'm not gonna lie. Like the times before, it was like 10 pictures, where people were like, "Hey, Gianni, hey," 10 pictures. This time, brother, for real, it was like 300 pictures. I couldn't stop. Like people would just keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, asking me for pictures, for signatures. Like even before I was in the event, like a couple days before, I was at the UFC PI in Mexico, training with my friend Alessandro Costa, and then
Oh,
when I
okay.
when I was when I was going in the city, people was watching me in the city, recognizing me, and then like, "Hey, Yanni, hey, are you Yanni? Yeah, how can I take a picture with you at the airport and stuff like that?" So I was like, it was pretty cool, Like, my
Yeah.
therapist went with me to the UFC in Mexico, and he's like, "Do you see how crazy are you? It's like you make only one fight, and look how many people is asking for stuff." And the thing is that, like, we were sitting right in front of the cage, and then next to us it was a lot of fighters and a lot of famous people from Mexico, that they there do stuff in TV and stuff like that. And bro, like,
Mhm.
the only person they went coming to ask for pictures, it was me. Maybe they asked other couple fighters for like couple, 3, 4, maybe 10 pictures, but with me
Yeah.
it was like whole night non-stop. So it was pretty cool. I really love like how the people was like giving me support. That's why I make a post after the fight and I say I'm a winner, because like for me that was a win. It was so much love and support that I felt since that fight that, like, like that's for me is a win.
No, yeah, definitely huge win. Your stock definitely went up. A lot of eyeballs on you. I mean, you're definitely gonna get another shot in the UFC for sure. Like, there's no doubt about
We will be back for a match in UFC for sure. That's my card. I have to be there.
it.
So,
Mason?
what former fighter would you say, or current fighter even, who would you say you like try to mimic your fighting style, or are you just your own person? Like you want to, you know, you do your own style. Like how do you see that?
I would say I do my own style, because like I'm always looking to evolve. I'm always looking to add new tools on my arsenal. But for sure, like I watch a lot of Ilya Tupuria, and I
Okay,
feel
yeah.
like I watch people that I feel like I watch people that I feel like we have something in common. For example, Ilya Tupuria, he has a heavy boxing. I've been boxing since like 12 years old. You know, so like
Yeah.
he has a heavy boxing. You know, he throws low kicks. His jiu-jitsu is really good. Even if we don't see it so much, we have a good jiu-jitsu from Ilya. So I like to watch Ilya. Like we're the same height because he's 5'7". I see him in person before. Like he's my height, but like huge back. Like it's like Ricky Simon at 5'7". I always told my brother, bro, he always gets so mad at me, but I love my brother. But Ricky has a huge ass back, bro, huge ass back. So Ilya has that back.
Big.
He's just a little bit taller, you know. But I study Ilya. I study a lot of Charles Oliveira because like I started with boxing, but my background, I would say, is boxing and Muay Thai. I started with boxing at 12, and I started doing Muay Thai at 15. And then I'm like 7-0 as a professional Muay Thai kickboxing fight. And like I would say, I'm one of the fighters that like use all the weapons. So everybody knows if you get close, you're gonna get elbow. If like I see the opportunity, I'm gonna knee you nonstop. So I like Charles Oliveira because I like the way Charles Oliveira march. He throws some good elbows. He throws some good knees.
Yeah.
And for sure, I try to study a lot his jiu-jitsu off his back. I'm not like a guard player, to be honest. Like if you see me in the jiu-jitsu training room, you're never gonna see me on my back. But I study a lot. Doesn't mean that I don't study. I teach jiu-jitsu classes, and then of course, since I teach, I had to study more. and then show my students some stuff. So like I try to watch a lot of Charles and then study his jiu-jitsu off his back. And right now, since we've been moving more like to 135, I've been watching a lot of Peter Yan because Peter
Oh,
Yan, I really like his style. Another
oh,
guy, really good boxing,
yeah.
good Muay Thai base too. Such a good takedown defense, which my takedown defense is really good. And then I started watching Peter for a long time because he's one of the guys that I like it because he's a small guy for the division. He's not like like a really big guy. So like that's I always try to watch the smaller guys. Like the reason I started training with my professor in jiu-jitsu because my professor in jiu-jitsu he's like such small guy, really small guy, but he's a Nogi Pan Am world champion at Rooster. Rooster in jiu-jitsu is I think like 124, something like that. So my professor walks around like 135, 40. Bro, but
Okay.
he beat the ass of everybody at the gym. Even the guys that were like world champions and they're like 185, he beat everybody. So when I saw that guy beating my ass and I saw that guy beating bigger guys than me, beating their ass, I was like, okay, this homie is like a ninja. I need to learn from this guy because if a small guy can do that, and you imagine what I can accomplish, like the more I learn from this guy. And then Peter Yan is the same. I see him, I'm like, okay, this guy is a small guy fighting the bigger guys, one of the most competitive divisions in the UFC, and he's doing so good, so good. So I'm like, okay, I need to put attention in this person because he's doing something right, and he's a champ.
Yeah. No, I mean, and so like being a coach, and you probably have to watch a lot of film on a lot of fighters. So like, are you like a fan of the UFC? Like, do you just watch like every card, every fight, or do you just look for specific guys to just do like research on?
I would say I put attention in the weight class I fight. So, for example, before the UFC, I was watching every single flyweight fight. Uh,
Okay.
I try to put attention at the 35 weight class too, because like I always know that like at some point in my career, the longer I keep fighting, I have to move up to 35 eventually. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay. So I put attention to that. I would say I'm fan of the UFC, but sometimes it's some cards that like I don't really like see anything interesting. But like when I see somebody that like I really think is a potential like or coming up star or has a lot of talent, I watch it. Like for example, in this past card, like the Douglas guy, the Brazilian guy, the fat Rosa, La
Larry
Rosa.
and Doug. Yeah. Yeah.
I've been watching that guy for a little bit. He's local guy from Orange County, and then I remember before the fight started, I told my coach that guy's gonna knock him out, the other guy in the first round. I promise you. And then he did. So I try to put attention at those new talents because like you gotta, I mean, if you wanna be good in the sport, you gotta put attention in the study and learn from everybody. You learn from everybody. So that's what I do. Like I put attention. I try to learn from everybody, and then just like good. The good thing is I'm enough mature, and I've been doing this for so many years that I know what is gonna work for me and what it doesn't. You know. So I watch a lot of UFC, man. Like even in my free time, I put on the TV and I look for some fights that I really want to study, I really want to watch, and then I just go over and then do my notes.
So is there? So I know you said you want anything in the top 10 at 125. Is there anybody like for sure that you really want to fight at 135 as well?
At 35, I don't think like I mean it's a good matchups, like I mean of course he just lost, but one of the guys that I became like a fan uh on the Ultimate Fighting, it was Ricky Turcios. I really like Ricky
Oh,
Turcios style and stuff like that. So for me, I was like, oh, that's a dog that I would like to face, because I want to get in a dog fight with him, like just get swing, if
yeah.
we go to the ground, I know we're capable to like scramble each other, submit each other. So like I like to fight people like that. Like I said, he did such a good job in the Ultimate Fighting. I know he just lost a couple fights, but like
Yeah.
we're in the best and like and he's in the best company of the world, you know, like any fight is gonna be easy, you know. But it's like a lot of fights up there. I think at 135 they're good fights, you know, like you know, like I would say this, you know, like even Adrian Janis, I feel like it's a good fight for me, you know, because like he has a good boxing and I love to box, you know. So
Yeah.
you know, like I feel like I'm more about I'm more about like fighting people that is gonna make exciting fights, you know. I don't like when people try to do boring fights, and more when they talk shit and then like they don't back it up, you know. Like, man, if you're
Yeah.
gonna talk something, like at least back it up and fight, you know. So like, you know, I hate when people call themselves fighters and then they become a huggers, you know, when the time comes. So I'm like, don't call yourself a fighter if you just want to hug my legs, you know. Like, at least if you take me down, you know, beat my ass. You know, if you take me down and beat my ass, like punching me, I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, I respect to you. You beat my ass, or you choke me out. Okay, cool. But if you take me down, you just hug my legs and stuff like that, like, bro, don't call yourself a fighter. Don't pretend and walk around like thinking you're a badass and then like try to like intimidate people just looking bad because like you think you're a fighter. You're not, brother. Don't lie to yourself. Like, fuck. You know, so just whoever wants to get in a good scrap, I'm down for it.
Absolutely. We can't wait for it.
Yeah, kind of going a little off topic here. What do you do in your time off?
I mean, I'm always busy working. I teach classes. I do a lot of like private lessons of like striking, jiu-jitsu, stuff like that. And then I teach like group classes. I work Monday to Sunday. Literally like today, for example, I came back from Seattle. My plane got like we land at like 10:20. I got home, showered, and I went to teach a class at 12. And after 12, I teach a class 12 to 1. And then I was having another class. And then after that, I did some cardio and then came here, do this interview. And then later, I might just gonna go play a little bit handball. I like to play handball.
Oh, handball is so
Oh, big
fun.
Halo guy, huh?
Do you say
Oh,
Halo or
handball.
handball? Handball.
Handball.
Oh, okay, okay. It
Handball.
kind of broke. It
I
kind of
used to
broke
play
up.
Halo when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I used to play Halo a little bit with the homies because I didn't have money to have an Xbox, but my homies have it, so we used to go to his home and play. But I like handball, so I go
Oh,
and
Yeah.
I just play for a little bit. I just put my timer, my headphones, and then like 20, 30 minutes, I just hit the ball. You know,
oh,
something chill. I mean, if
yeah.
I'm not in camp for fun, I just go eat new places. I try to find a new places to eat.
So, what's been your favorite thing about being in the U.S.? You mentioned coming here, you know, on your own. What's been your favorite thing about living here?
I mean, I think my favorite thing to come to the US is like it make me grow so much as a person, as a human, you know, like it showed me like fuck man, like I would say like it showed me how people in other countries are really blessed, you know, to have like the opportunities. And then they show me that, like, you know, like open my eyes, you know, because like I never thought about traveling the world. I never thought about leaving my country, you know. So when I came here, of course, like I didn't know I didn't even know how to speak English. All the English I know is from the gym. I never been in school for English. So I came with zero English. I had to force myself to learn. After 1 year, I was started like speaking a little bit, you know. And then I was blessed that I came to a place that nobody speaks Spanish, so that helped me, you know, because it didn't make me lazy or you know, stuff like that. So I was so
Yeah.
hungry for my dream that I was like, okay, a language is not gonna stop me. So I learned how to speak English, and then like open so many opportunities, open my eyes to be like, you know, my mom always told me when I grew up, you know, everything is possible, but like it's hard to believe when you're in a country that like you have to work every single day hard and hard and hard to eat, you know? And then I'm not saying that here I don't do it, but here I see more the possibilities of like, okay, you know, like the rewards. Because up there sometimes, you know, like I will give you an example. You know, I was fighting professionally. I was like a study to become a lawyer, and then
Oh,
and
wow.
I was working in like a pick and pull like a shop. Like I
Okay.
was on the weekend Saturdays I was going college because I was first going Monday to Saturday, but economically, like my situation with money in my family, it was kind of rough, so I had to switch it just to Saturdays. I was going college Saturdays, and then during the week I was going to work at the pick and pull and training and fighting professionally. And then, bro, I was working in the pick and pull from like Monday to like Friday, from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. And then I was getting paid like $45 a week.
Oh my gosh.
$45 a week, you know? So
Oh.
like, so like, like that $45, it was to help my mom in my house, and then with the fighting, I was making money in fighting in Mexico. I mean, for Mexico, I was making money fighting because I was selling like 100 tickets, 80 tickets, and they pay me good. So I was with the fighting, I was paying college. And then thank God I find like a really good friend brother too in Mexico, that he was having like his law like a office, and he gave me work. So then I was working as a lawyer already, doing some paperwork. I did a lot of like child support, divorce, and stuff like that. So that was like the good money, because it come like more money, and I was trying to do everything. And then same here in the US, I do, like I say, a lot of private lessons, a lot of like work, like group classes. I used to help out another homie at his warehouse, and then like you see me, and my day start at 6 a.m. and I finish at 11 p.m. Come back home, you know. I come back during the day, but I mean, just come back, shower, get some snack, and then go work. Come back, get some snack, go work, and stuff like that. I'm always working, I'm always moving. But like I say, the U.S. opened the eyes and of see like, okay, here I'm gonna work really, 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 really hard, but then I know I'm gonna have a house. Out there is like, man, I work really, really, really hard, and then fuck, like I'm gonna have to eat. I'm gonna have money for food, but like I don't know if I'm not gonna afford a house with that type of money. Like
Yeah.
it was rough, but like I'm blessed to be here in the U.S. and I've been here for almost 10 years. In July
Yeah.
is gonna be 10 years since I'm here. I'm
Oh,
happy to be here and blessed. So
yeah. Congratulations. That's awesome, man. I forgot that I had a follow up question to something that you were saying, but I forgot what I was gonna ask. Um, I wanted to go back a little bit into fighting. I gotta ask about this because it's really, really impressive. You have a win on your record over number 9 ranked bantamweight David Martinez in a split
yeah.
decision combat global promotion back in 2021. Uh, when you were fighting him, did you know that like he was one of those guys that was gonna make it like pretty far?
Yeah, I told him after the fight. When I fought him, I knew he was like a knockout artist. He was knocking everybody out. And we fought that night. I beat him. I broke my foot in the first round. With the first kick I threw, I broke my feet. And then my right foot, I broke it. And then I fought the whole fight like that. That's why it was kind of hard for me to push. Uh, you know. Thank God I have my coach Yama on my corner, and he's one of the men that he's gonna make me push until the end. So like because of him, I finished the fight. If no, I think I wouldn't finish the fight because it was really painful. After the fight, I went to the hospital and I stayed in the hospital until like 6 a.m. But then I remember I beat him, and then he was sad. It was his first loss and his only loss he has in the record. And then
Yeah.
and then we went in the backstage, and then he was like kind of sad, crying and stuff like that, or maybe really sad. I don't remember, but he was sad. And I used to say, "Hey, David," I'm like, like you're gonna be really good. You're really talented kid. You're gonna be in the UFC. But tonight was my night. I'm like, look, I've been doing this for a long, long time, and then my time is right now. Your time will come, but it's not tonight. I'm like, but trust me, keep it up. You're gonna be in the UFC. And when he made his debut in the UFC 2 years ago, I think, or last year, he made his debut last year
Yeah.
uh, in
Pretty
Mexico. I was there. I was there sitting there. I was there in the front row. And after he won by knockout, he came down the cage. I screamed his name. He went to me and I shake his hand as I told you. I told you
That's
you're gonna be in the UFC. Like congratulations, blah blah. And this time when he found the UFC, I was there too. I always been. I mean, with some guys after we fought, like I support their careers. Because we're all trying to fight for our dreams, and we all trying to like make it to the top. Uh, I always say like the sun come out for everybody though. So it's not like any like I'm not trying to like keep pulling anybody down though. The sun came out for everybody, and then
Mm.
like I support his career. He's a good guy.
I remembered my question now. You what was do you remember like your first like when if you've ever got like your first I guess your UFC check probably your biggest check that you've ever gotten, I'm assuming, from fighting?
Maybe no, maybe I got before a little bit more.
Okay. I just want to know like what your first like big purchase was. Like when you were like, all right,
Okay, I would tell you this. Like one time, I fought like a Muay Thai tournament in San Diego. It was two fights in one night. I won, and they gave me $10,000 cash.
Ooh. Ooh.
So that was good because since it was Muay Thai, I just pay my percentage to my gym, and that's it. And since it was cash, like they don't deduct like the tax right away because like sometimes
yeah.
they take it up right away the taxes. Like for this fight, for example, I got my check and they take it off 30% like right at the bat because they thought like I think they thought I was like living in Mexico or something like that. But then thank God my manager take care of that. And then since I live in the US, I pay taxes here, so they give me some money back. But yeah, I was like, God damn, bro! Like, I was like, I was probably making more money outside. But yeah, plus I got a 25% off from the missing weight, so
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. I forgot about
Yeah.
that. But do you remember what your first big purchase was? Like first like thing that you like spent a lot of money on, like yourself?
like I said, no, like they say the Muay Thai tournament, because like with that Muay Thai tournament, I just complete the money to buy like my car in that time. I
Oh,
remember
okay.
like I remember it was right before my birth, right after my birthday. So I got that money, and I love Volkswagen. As a Mexican, we all love Volkswagen in Mexico. So I got my GTI. I went and I paid cash. Pa. I got like, okay, we're good. I was having savings, and I just with that money I complete, and I pay a cash my GTR in that time.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Well, Gianni,
So you have any like? Oh, sorry.
go.
One more question. Sorry, we don't want to take up too much of your time. But one more. I have so many questions. Sorry, I just like I don't know how to pick them. I got like this whole page filled with questions. I don't know. Hard to pick them, man.
Go for,
So excited
go
to
for, go
fly.
for.
Just started writing down everything I wanted to ask you, and like, there's not enough time. But cheat meals, cheat food. When you got to the United States, we're known for fat foods and stuff. What's you like cheat meals at all, or you stay pretty much on diet a lot?
I always eat clean because like even for example like like I feel like it's not too bad. But if I wanna have like a cheat meal, I go get sushi. I go get Korean barbecue.
Ooh.
Like one thing that like for sure when I fought here local in UNF, the last company before the UFC, every single time after the fight, everybody knew after the fight we gotta go in and out, get like a burger, and I get my milkshake right after the fight. Like
Yes.
in and out and milkshake. So I love Randy's Donuts here in California. Randy's Donuts is the best. I'm trying to get sponsored by them, but they don't listen to me yet. But like, bro, every time after the fight, I go every day for 6 donuts. Every day,
Oh my god.
Oh
every
wow.
day for 6 donuts. At
I
least I
mean, they.
I want I want my. They're making
Oh,
money, but I want my golden card. Like like Randy's Donuts, Gianni Vazquez, whom I usually show up the golden card and give me a free donut or something like that. But yeah, man, the food here, like I say, like the US give me so much opportunities. Like, since I came here, I try so many different food, like so many good food, that I never try in my life. Like I mentioned, I don't have any family here in the US. So like my mom and everybody is in Mexico. So every time I go back home, what I do, I always try to take my mom, my sister to go eat like new things, you know, like, oh, go eat Korean, because I already know they don't do that, you know, like it's
Yeah.
like I try. I've been bad the last couple times because I've been so busy, and then you know, like economy, I've been putting all my money into like my camps because I really like to put a lot of money on my fight camps to be the best. So, but every single time I was going to Mexico at first, I was like bringing like a lot of gifts for my family because I already know, for example, they don't buy clothes. You know, it's not like a lot of money to buy clothes every single time. So I already knew, you know, like so when I go there, I buy clothes for them. I buy shoes. You know, I take and eat. I'm like, okay, I've been taking my mom to eat like Peruvian food, Korean barbecue, you know, Thai food, sushi, and they never tried before. So I feel really blessed that now I have the opportunity.
That's awesome, man. And so the last question that we like to ask, well, this is only the second interview, but our other guy, Noah, this is a question from him, and this is how we like to end our interviews. How do you want Gianni Vazquez to be remembered? How do you want to be
I just
remembered?
wanna be, I just wanna be remembered as one of the guys they always put in exciting fights. You know, like I just wanna be remembered like one of the guys that like every single time you see him fight, for sure you're gonna see something. You're gonna see a good show. You know, like people pay for pay-per-views, people pay for tickets, people pay to like, you know, like babysitters to like go see fights. So like I want them to like feel like the money was worth it, you know?
Definitely. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, Gianni. We love you so much, bro. Can't wait to see you fight
You
again.
No, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.